and say good morning. Welcome to the Center for Conscious Living. I'm delighted that you're here, and I ask you to just take a deep breath and notice the life that's inside you, that's flowing through you. Be present right here and right now as we come together and create this field of love. You know that there are practitioners holding the high watch, praying for us. Reverend Michael Rogers and Kathy Miller and Marlene Volper is helping with all of the information in the chat. And our first practitioner, who I'll call forward now to do our opening invocation, is Norman Taylor.
Good morning, everyone. Let's all take a breath. Let's breathe in this peace that engulfs the spirit, this peace that is connected to the divine, this divine love intelligence that is the fuel for everything and every place that we are. This divine love intelligence flows in and through us, in and through all things, in all moments of space and time. It is the direction of joy, of peace, of abundance, of clarity. And knowing that, I'm knowing that for myself and for all who are with us today, that we all possess those marvelous spiritual qualities, that they flow in and through us at this time. So I'm knowing today that this service is divinely guided by the words of Rev Carol. It is divinely guided and experienced by all who attend, all who are here now. It is lifted on the wings of the divine and the wings of God. I'm knowing this to be true here and now. And so in my knowing of this, I'm thankful. I am completely in gratitude for my knowing of this truth. And I release this word into the law, knowing that it is done. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Norman. And as we gather then in this field, we're going to celebrate this sacred space and the marvelous Jackie Greggs and Dale Cottrell. Going to remind us.
Everybody, I just want to make sure that you can hear me. You can hear me good? Thumbs up? Okay. And I want to invite everybody to go into wherever your sacred space is for you. That's what this song is talking about. You are where I go to hide when the wind starts to blow, when the lightning starts to strike, when the thunder starts to roll, when this life becomes a fight, you are where I put my gloves down when I'm running out of time. You are where I go to slow down. You are my favorite place. You are my sacred space. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You where I go to move In your presence I am healed. Oh, you are my favorite place. You are my sacred space. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. No walls, no war, no calls, no weapons formed, no law, what for? You are where I go to hide. You are where I go to heal. You are where I go to feel, to remember what is real. Oh, you are my favorite place. You are my sacred space. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Clint. Beautiful. And then we'll call up Norman Taylor again to do our inspirational reading. There'll be an
Hello.
affirmation afterwards that Marlene will put in the chat.
Hello again, everybody. So the reading I picked today is from, I always have to look at this, the 40-Day Mind Fast Soul Feast. I'll try to put it there. It's Michael Beckwith. And I've just been thinking about all the things that have been going on with the protests and Black Lives Matter. So this reading deals with peace, and it's called Peace, Habitat of the Spirit. Peace is a quality of spirit that is everywhere present. Peace is what you're called to reveal first within your own consciousness and then in your world. Thoughts and actions born of inner peace of your soul are in alignment with the laws of the universe. All of the peace that you could ever desire is already within you. It saturates the universe and everything in you. You contact this peace through meditation and affirmative prayer. At first, your meditative silence may seem empty, punctuated by interludes of distracting thoughts. Continue to sit until the silence is transmuted into stillness. If you persevere, you will be lifted into a state of rapture. Even now it's calling unto you. Its voice remains subtle until you attune yourself to the transcendent vibration. The spirit is so humble that it will not force itself into your awareness. But what great joy it knows when you willingly enter the temple of bliss within your own soul. Throughout this day, stop frequently to breathe and to touch the place within you that is the peace that surpasseth all understanding. Let it be carried on the wings of your thoughts, words, and actions. Through calmness, keep your mental and nervous system relaxed so they may catch the intuitive guidance whispered to you by spirit. Peace is another way of practicing the presence of God. And now I'm going to read the affirmation, and I think you all have it in your chat, correct? Today, I tune in with the sunshine of life. I am filled with the bright and joyous presence of God itself. I am cloaked in the beautiful garment of God. I hear the song of joy deep within. Life sings through me in radiant ecstasy. I am outrageously blessed. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Norman. Thank you, Michael Beckwith. And beautiful. So Jackie sings about a sacred space, and he mentions breathe and remind and remember all through the day. I want to start with a poem from a friend of mine, Mary Beth Watt, who lives in Oregon. This was written a couple of years ago when all the fires were burning in California and Oregon and around there. But it's not unlike the times that we're living in, with lots of fires, literal and emotional everywhere. It's called A Season of Fire and Smoke. A fall of ash from a nearby fire coats my car, reminds me of the dangerous times we live in. Summers hotter than ever, winters drier than before. Lightning strikes of shock and awe, sparkling an epidemic of fires. August, September, this year, July, make a season of fire and smoke. Ashy remains of the forest fall like rain. Masks allow us to function in air officially deemed unhealthy, capital U, or too many times this season, hazardous. What does it mean when the air we must breathe to live in is officially hazardous? When I came to this valley, I could not walk outside without some startlement of beauty catching my eye. Now the beauty is veiled by smoke days. But I know beauty is still there. My mind has cataloged its features, and my gratitude remains, though often for memories more than moments. I send those memories out to the universe and say, this is what I want our world to be. Remember with me. We may be being asked to remember. What are we holding as a vision? What are you holding as a vision for your life, as a vision of our world? Now that we've been untethered from normalcy, what's next? Where are we going? We are a part of something much larger than we know. These seeds of transformation have been sown already. Barbara Marx Hubbard wrote several years ago, as a futurist, and most all of her writings about this evolutionary progression. Every one of us who experiences an awakening, a sense of comprehensive compassion for the whole, a motivation to express our unique creative gifts, is helping to build the emerging morphic field conductive to conscious evolution. And Ernest Holmes has written, our future evolution will be only as we perceive that light in the darkness until the darkness is no longer there. Only as we accept our divine individuation can we discover that within us, which is already perfect and complete. Only then can God fully pronounce himself through us and in us and personalize himself as us. It's time to open to the life of God that is already here. And so I'm suggesting for today, maybe as a title of the talk, that we meet with compassion all that arises. I'm remembering a book, I looked for it yesterday, couldn't find it, but Matt Kahn wrote about whatever arises, love that. Michael Singer and this beautiful, The Surrender Experiment, about following the invisible into the unknown, he says. His surrender experiment was surrendering your personal preferences, saying yes to whatever life was asking of you, whatever was right in front of you to do. He said, growing to understand, he said, that life really does know what it's doing. It's an interesting concept. I don't know how often we think of that or believe it. Life really knows what it's doing. There is an evolutionary impulse within us that wants to be actualized. Grass grows, flowers bloom, all of this unfolds, and we want this transformation. Answering that call to transformation. It's always been about us each remembering realizing who and what we are. The thing is, we may be already just fine as we are. That perfect activity of the life of God is already here. God is here. Everything we want and need is here. So we're asked to meet with compassion all that arises. Studying and through Awakening Together in a group with Ann Blanchard, and also all Byron Katie work with Martha Creek and many other places, this idea of this loving all method. I brought a poem from Rumi, the Illuminated Rumi. I love this book. And Rumi, as you probably know. This says, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and attend them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from the beyond. So I just put that out there. The whole idea that as we're wanting to have a vision that is transformational for our world and each of our lives, there are things in our subconscious that come up to be cleared. And I feel like it's deeply a part of our job to be doing that clearing. And the only place we can really do that work is on ourselves. Our journey isn't getting rid of our humanity, the anger, the sadness, whatever, but to welcome them, as the Rumi poem says, no longer resisting our feelings, but allow them to move through us. That's loving it, meeting it with compassion. It's an idea we've talked about many times, many places, but each time it comes to me, it's a new revelation. It's a deeper understanding, because we're talking about no separation. We're talking about not getting rid of anything, but being able to meet everything with an open heart. Maybe embracing yourself in every moment is loving yourself. Meet yourself in the midst of sadness or upset or angst, that's loving ourselves. Not denying any aspect of ourselves. That's love. Ultimately, God is love, and I believe that. There's no place that love is not. No place God is not. So I'm inviting us this morning to soften our relationship with ourselves. How you meet yourself is kind of how you meet everyone. We've so long been separated and wearing masks and treating or wanting to look a certain way. But how we're treating ourselves is truly how we're able to, the vibration that we put out to the world, to others. There are some emotions that as a child or in a difficult circumstance, we weren't able to fully process as the time that they came through. So they get stored in our subconscious and they need to be released. So the light that is the truth of our being can shine out unobstructed. Just letting go, finding places in the body that perhaps store anxiety, not needing to change. And this is the thing, so long we've tried to do better and be better and learn more and fix and change and grow. What if we don't need to change? If we can just meet what's happening, allowing what's ever happening. We're holding on to shame or guilt or fear someplace. Where is it in the body? not needing to attach a story to it, not needing to fix it or heal it or change it. Just acknowledge its presence. No longer rejecting it, no longer denying it, just acknowledging the place within you where it's been hiding all these years. Acknowledging its presence, meeting it with tenderness. I heard Panache Desai say the other day, meeting each emotion with the love that you would extend to a day-old child. Just think about that for a second. You're just seeing a brand new baby, just filled with all this love. The emotion just rises. There's no need to deny anything. No need to heal or fix or change whatever emotions are arising within. Give them your attention. Welcome them. I remember being in a retreat with Thich Nhat Hanh once, and he was talking about things like this, and he would say, "Oh, hello, little anger thought," rather than "I am angry," and totally believing the thoughts in our minds or the feelings that are arising. Hello, little anger thought, and invite them in. Willing to meet whatever it is, fear, anxiety, shame, apathy, guilt, with the same embrace as you would a day-old child. When we can do that, then we can greet every single human being you meet with that same love. Now, I acknowledge it may be a little more difficult with some folks than others. There's a collective feeling of conflict and struggle, survival, them, the others, that is rampant in the collective and in the world that we see. But if we want to change that world, we need to be that change. And it's a vibrational change that happens. Paul Zellick, who's somebody I've been reading and connecting with and interacting with, when this whole pandemic kind of was starting, had a thing called the Peace Series. Since Norman's reading, it's about peace today. I brought up some of my notes from that. He said, how you attend to your brother as a planet, as a collective, is yet another mirror of how you agree to life. No human being is not worthy of love. Now just notice if you have an image of somebody in mind and a whole lot of emotion come out, like, that can't be true. Just notice. No human being is not worthy of love. And that rise of, well, not that one, is just a consequence of our past creations. Bodies we've inherited, ideas, family traits, heredity, things that have come down that are calling us to now make conscious decisions, to notice, to not be totally caught up in the mind, but to have that little bit of separation where you begin to notice that you are not that voice in the mind. You are the listener. You are the listener to those thoughts, and you can choose. You can remember. No human being is not worthy of love. Zellick says here, and many, many times in places, what you put in darkness calls you to the darkness. What you damn, damns you back. We know this, law of attraction, the giving and receiving, putting out, coming back. I invite you to consider it as we talk about meeting everything with compassion. Paul in the guides is what he's channeling, talks about humanity's at a crossroads now. There are choices to be made. What you perceive through the senses is in radical change. It may be known in another reality. A template of reality says it's turned upside down. And we've come to see that. Everything we thought we never even considered would be changed is changed. We know that the energetic body that we're operating in goes beyond the body. It's an energy body, an energy system, and that's beyond just this body. He says, when the world is not as I say it should be, one runs for the shadows, which was certainly what was happening when all of this started. But there's another idea. Maybe it's an opportunity to re-see reality. It's time for humanity to reclaim its identity in a higher octave. Zelig talks about that in his channeling all the time, about re-seeing things in a higher octave, going to the upper room. We could call it seeing with the higher self, or seeing with the eyes of Holy Spirit or God, or any number of words that we use to define a perspective shift that lets us see with the eyes of love. Anything can be seen with these new eyes, known in a different way. They're saying, we invite you to remember the title of this teaching, which was peace. Peace, first and foremost, must be known within. Who you deny love to, you put in darkness. It's now an opportunity to lift each one to a realization of their own well-being. The divine in you is complete, is effectively whole. The form that you've taken as an expression of source may also be reknown in a higher octave. So that we come to say, I know what I am in truth. We can have refuge in this higher octave. He says you can fear if you wish, but we invite you to discern, have prudence, but not be afraid. You can learn, if you want to, lessons of fear, that's fine. But you don't need to learn that way anymore. The world that we live in is in deep change, is turning upside down. Like this, it says, pebbles that have been held in pockets are being released. So these things that we have denied or ignored or not looked at are coming up everywhere for us to see. We suggest, they say, this is a cause for celebration. And the opportunity they present to reclaim the world as it truly is. How do we want to see that world? The action of fear has always been separation. To know a thing in fear is to be separate from the divine that must also express as that thing. He says here in many, many places, the only real challenge that we face is a denial of the divine. If you believe a virus is more powerful than God, you created an idol. You're not praying the thing away, but you're holding in reverence the source of all things that must express as all things. You say pretty things are holy. All things are holy. It's the act of one who perceives that sees the divine in all. This is becoming aware of the suffering for others is great for us. We begin then to know all humanity as equal. It's a great leveler, an opportunity to celebrate our humanity as a collective. When you understand what you are, when you love your brother when he is ill, when whatever is happening, when you love the one before you, regardless of what you would call him, you will know true healing. And when you know yourself as whole, you claim a life in agreement with wholeness. Balance is attained as all things unfold, all things change. Your attachment to what was may be much harder than allowing yourself to be carried by the current that presents itself. Where the current takes you may be to higher ground. And there's an attunement that's offered in his first book, I Am the Word, and all through the writing of Paul Zelig. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free, I am free, I am free. I have come, I have come, I have come. Behold, I make all things new. I'm remembering Mary Reed coming and talking to us saying, we are love. Love is all we are. It's everywhere. And that beautiful meditation that she offered, if you weren't here, she suggested that in the middle of all this still warring energies that are everywhere, you can see it whether it's mass or not mass, or liberal and conservative, or anything. She says, we have the capacity to bring to rest some of those warring energies just for a few minutes. She invited us to be in that sacred space that Jackie was singing about. Let our breath in and breath out be like a lullaby, and just invite some emotion into the heart. Pain or upset or anger or whatever it is, just one. And let that be, as we open our heart, like loving a day-old baby. We can do heart breathing, crossing our hands on our heart, breathing, just allowing ourselves to fall into that heart as it opens. And bring in that emotion. Mary's meditation was talking about emotions in the collective so that they could rest a little bit, then be sent back out to do whatever work is being done, but so that it would be softened some. I suggest that we can do this with our own emotions and just bring them into the heart and hold them for a while. The Upanishad says, the sun and the moon and the stars, fire and lightning are there, and all that now is and all that is not. The whole universe lives in each of us and dwells in our hearts. This being in the heart is where we can know peace. It's that sacred space where we can envision a future that is beautiful for all people. We can let this process unfold and hold the space. Just trust, be centered, ask to be of service. That's that impulse within all of us. To be of service, to be our highest and best. I remember when the Dalai Lama came to Philadelphia one year, and Ellie and I, my daughter, decided at the very last second to try and get a ticket. So we did, and we were in the very last row in the very highest section, all the way up at the top, and crawled over people to get to our seats, kind of in the middle. The podium was over to one side, and we could kind of see, and and then when the Dalai Lama came, they moved a chair out for him right in the middle, which was absolutely right in line with the seat I was sitting in. And I realized why I was there, that I was there to help hold that space. Had been protesters and all kinds of things going on with him, against him. And I was there to be the other side of that, as the monks in the front and me sitting way at the back, just held the space for this beautiful consciousness to unfold. We don't know where we're going to be when we can hold the space, but as the reading and the song are suggesting, take time all during this day or this week or the rest of your life to breathe, to center in that sacred space, which is our heart, and to meet with compassion anything that's arising in our lives or in others. There's no loving all, it said, until I can love all my own uncomfortable feelings. If loving is hard, try allowing it, welcoming it. And then you can move to loving. This loving all is not about changing feelings, but loving what comes up. And you'll find, as Krishnamurti says, if you begin to understand what you are without trying to change it, then what you are undergoes a transformation. I brought the Paul Zelig book, which is printed in small little letters, I think. We say to you this: the extent to which you can witness the Christ, the God within man, is the extent that you can become that Christ incarnate. The real incarnation of the Christ is made known to you through your experience. So they say you have an assignment today. Go stand on a corner or sit in your office or in front of your computer on your Zoom, whatever it is, in front of the news, and witness the perfection that is created in every man and woman before you. Again, more difficult for some, but where we need to go. I am word through my intention to witness the perfection of every man, woman, and child I see before me. I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. So when this is stated, you bring the frequency into the alignment that will support the transformation of what you see. But you have to choose it. You have to choose it in consciousness, and you have to do it with the intention to see the perfection in those who present themselves to you, period. He says you can stay in your discernment. They talk about if you decide a movie maybe you wouldn't like, well, that's fine. You're not saying it's terrible. It's just not something you want to do. That's fine. Stay in your discernment. We're not talking about taking away discernment. We are simply telling you that to the extent that you judge your fellow man, you actually lower your own frequency. And when you lower your own frequency, you fall out of alignment with the Christ vibration that you are wanting to be working in, or that you're now working in, they say. You can get back there. You can raise your frequency, but to the extent that you hold another in contempt or in judgment or as less than you, you deny them their own expression as the Christ. How could you believe that a creator could favor one man over another? How could you possibly believe that God's love is sanctioned, one is approved of, one is not? You are all perfect creations. You are all deeply loved. And the realization of this, truthfully, will and would transform this planet in a second if it were realized in its fullness. You are all loved. You are all perfect in your expression. We are simply reminding you of who you have always been. Period. They say that when they're done, huh? So it's time. It's time. I think it's up to each of us. What if you're the one letting in a little bit more light, a little bit more love, peace into the world? What if you're the one and the peace that you let in is that little bit that will tip the scale, that will turn the tide, that will be the transformation? I think you're the one. This is the time. We are the people. Jean Houston used to say all the time. Meet yourself with compassion. Wake up to the beauty and the love that you are. I love you. God bless.
And so now is our time where we share our gifts and tithes with the Center for Conscious Living. So if you will repeat with me up in the chat. Thank you, God, for this abundance that is mine to share. I bless this gift
and give it to thee
in gratitude and
Gratitude and
joy,
joy,
knowing that
as
I give, I
I
do.
receive. And now, Jackie and Dale remind us we're in God's hand, song by Ricky Byers.
If you ready, want to start? Mm-hmm. So I just invite you all to place everything in God's hands. There is nothing that you need to do. Early morning invitation. Let a prayer rise with the sun. Can my heart be free again to live, to love as best I can, and then place all things in God's hands. Place within God's hand. All too soon, time advances. All too soon, I shall forget to remember that all is God, and to strength of love as best we can. So we place all things in God's hands. God is here and now. God will make a way somehow. Live to dream yourself away, and the path of love will not forsake you. Earth receives a kiss at sunset. Let my heart not miss the chance to remember all is God, and to live and love as best I can, and to place all things in God's hand. Oh, live and love as best you can, then place all things in God's hands. Creator of the universe, how great you are. Oh, guide me and inspire me to be wonderful. Creator of the universe, lift me up every time I fall. Oh, guide me and inspire me to be wonderful. Creator of the universe, how great You are, oh, guide me and inspire me to be wonderful. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Dave. Beautiful. Beautiful. Everywhere, the reminders and the invitations for us to remember. So we have a blessing that we are offering any of you that might be joining us for the first time. And now that we're on Zoom and looking out to one another, if you've pressed gallery view, you'll see why we offer it to all of us, to one another. So I invite you to raise your hands and blessing as we say, welcome to this Center for Conscious Living. We're a heart-centered spiritual community, and we open ourselves to you in love. We recognize the perfection of God within you. We celebrate the joyous being that you are. You are a radiant point of light, and we are blessed by your presence. Welcome home. And then we also have a mastermind covenant. We call it a prayer that we do that if you want to close your eyes, I will tell you the responses to. We just feel the field as we come together, knowing there is a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own, and knowing it is responsive to my every thought, word, action, and feeling. Say aloud, I acknowledge. Surrendering to the power of this divine consciousness, and knowing I am guided and assisted past any limited perception to God's truth within, now say, I surrender. Knowing forgiveness is the key to change, I now forgive myself and others for all mistaken judgments, and I open the door to unconditional love by saying, I forgive. Sometimes as we met in a room, I would say, wait, I'm not sure that was loud enough. So just in case you were one of those that just was listening, I forgive. Self and others. Holding this consciousness for the Center for Conscious Living. Wait a minute, I forgot one. Realizing my life is the creation of my own thoughts, I now choose to fill my mind with thoughts that are positive, loving, and beautiful. And I allow my life to reflect that choice by saying, I choose. Holding this consciousness for the Center for Conscious Living, we now thank God for the continued prosperity of this spiritual community and for everyone. For myself, I now go within to the silence of my own mind as I state my own specific intentions, knowing the universe always says yes. Please repeat after me, I accept. With a thankful heart and knowing that all we have put into the divine mind is now returned to me, I say, thank you, God. And then we can read this covenant. Maybe up in the chat. The love of God unfolds me. The mind of God inspires me. The Spirit of God enlightens me. The power of God encircles me. I am in God and all is well, for I am enthusiastic, excited, expectant, and at peace. And we say for each and for everyone, I'm grateful. God has heard you. All right. So we, I think, just announcements. If you wish to be on our mailing list and are not, or you'd like to be on our prayer list, why please put something up in the chat right here, or send an email to CCL in Morristown at AOL. It's probably up there somewhere. You can also send donations there if you'd like. June and Kathy Miller, I didn't ask you before, but would you like to say something about the book discussion group that's coming up August 11th. You'd have to unmute yourself if you do. I can't see whether you're saying yes or no. Kathy's been praying. She might know how to not be able to talk. What about you, June? Do you want to unmute and say something, or Kathy?
Sure. We invite everyone to come to this reading group. We're going to be having a discussion about a book called White Fragility. There it is. Norman Taylor's holding up the book. Fantastic. It is, the subtitle is Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism. And of course, none of us are racists. There you go, Kat. But it's very, very revealing, and it's a really wonderful process to do in a safe space with friends. We can get deep, we can get intimate, we can really talk about what's in our hearts and what's in our backgrounds, as Carol was talking about, what we are bringing to this present moment. Everyone is welcome, male, female, any particular color or persuasion. It's going to be great. It's 7 weeks starting on August 11th on a Tuesday night. If you register, you'll get the Zoom link, and we're going to have a very interesting time. There's a lot of reading and some videos, and should be fascinating. Kathy, anything to add to that?
I think you did a beautiful job. Thank you, June. Yes, it's going to be a very exciting discussion, I think. I think it'll be an open, all we ask is that people come with an open heart. As we know, our community is an open-hearted community. So it's going to be wonderful. Thank you.
And the book.
And the book. And you can get it on
the book. And yes, of course, we'll be discussing
Amazon. It is very popular now. It's been sold out a lot. But you can probably get it fairly quickly now on Amazon, or you can get an e-copy through eBay very inexpensively, like $2 or something. So we can help you with that if you can't find the book.
Yeah, I've got an extra if somebody needs to buy it, if you live near more.
Excellent. They seem to have printed more, so I got mine. They said I wasn't going to get it until next week, and I got it a week ago. So I think there's plenty to be had. So, and
I just want to acknowledge that we've been gifted through June's work with the Pachamama Alliance with their beautiful curriculum for this class. So it should be wonderful. Just send us an email, $40, which we tried to make exceedingly reasonable for everybody. If there's any issue, let us know and contact the office about that. Oneness Blessing will be tomorrow night. I'll put the Zoom link up on the Facebook page, Center for Conscious Living, CCL, and you can email the office always. Any question or thing, email the office and let us know. Of course, the Miracles also meets second and fourth Mondays, and everything else you need to know is in our newsletter, and if you're not signed up for that, please do. Okay. Anything else? Lovely. So Jackie has a beautiful concluding song for us.
Some of you may know this song, I'm sure. Many of you may know this song. I can't hear it. All right, here we go. The song is popularized by Michael Jackson, but written by Sadiqa Garrett. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. It's gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids on the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind? name, pretending not to see their needs. A sound of whipping kind, a broken Bible time, and a one-man creed. They follow the pattern on the winter sea, 'cause they got nowhere to be. That's why I'm wanting to know. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize that there was some with no home and I don't know too long. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed up tree. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. You can't close your mind. Na 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 na. Oh no, yeah. Na 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 na. Oh, yeah. We're gonna make that change. Come on, change. It's gonna feel real good. Come on, man in the mirror. Change. Man in the mirror. We can do it. Change. Man in the mirror. Make that change. Dale Cottrell.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Dale. I'm just so struck with the idea that life does know what it's doing and how the song and the reading and the talk, all of it is so beautifully coming together. Thank you very much. And Norman Taylor.
All right. So everybody can repeat after me, please. I'm sure this is in the chat somewhere. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called
Life is in my body.
life is in my
Life is in my mind.
mind.
Life is in my feelings.
Life is in my
Life is in all of my activities.
life is
I receive it. I share it. I am it.
share.
And I accept it just the way that it is. Thank you, life. And accepting all of these gifts, we say yes.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can unmute yourself and say hello.
Hello.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Norman, Jackie,
Hello.
and the other practitioners and everybody.
Real quick with this book. This book is for everybody. White Fragility is for everyone. Everybody, black or white or any other race or persuasion, can get something out of this book. This is an incredible book. So I want to really push that for the people who are doing the class. And also check out an organization called From Privilege to Progress, because they work along in many of these ways. They are the women who helped the young men at Starbucks who filmed them a couple of years ago when they were accused. So I just wanted to plug that.
Would you put that name in the chat, Norman?
Say again?
Put the name of the organization in our chat for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Norman.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Joanne.
Hello, Julie. I didn't know who Mac Yoda was.
That's me.
I never did.
Beautiful service.
And Reverend Al and everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Sandra and
Hi,
Nefertiti.
Joanne.
Archie.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
Hi, Nefertiti.
Happy Nora.
Everybody, I love you.
Rain.
So much.
Hi, Kat.
Stephen.
I love you.
Thank you.
Joanne Holmes.
Hi.
Good. Oh, here, and there's Dale.
Hi,
Sandra. Hi, Reverend Al.
Sandra.
Hi.
Hi, Reverend Al.
Reverend Al.
Hey.
I remember
Kathy
now.
and Peggy.
Thank you, Jackie.
Looking beautiful.
Ben.
Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Nefertiti.
Hi, June.
I think
There's Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie.
arrogance about
Hello. Hi, Bonnie. Mike and
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Say hello to
Bye.
Doug.
People.
Dog sitting.
Jackie, thank you so much. The music was wonderful.
Yes, it was wonderful,
Hi,
Jackie.
Michael. Hi, Virgie.
What you doing,
Thank you all. Be well. Have a great week. See you Sunday.
Well,
Thank
Week.
love and blessings to everyone.
Thank you.
everybody.
Hi,
Thank you.
Peggy.
Love and blessings.
Bye.
Light love to all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I love you.
Hey, Kathy Wakeham. Hi, Bonnie.
There's Katura.
love to everybody. Hi, Katura.
Oh, hey, Couture. Hey, Virgie. I owe you a tip.
Hey, Marty.
Hi.
All right. Hey, Chris.
It's hard to hang up.
Hi, Keith. Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Hard to pull the plug.
Hug.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
Hi, everybody. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Ciao. Have a great week. Love you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, Keith.
Hugs,
Goodbye,
everyone.
Be well.
Yep.
Goodbye
Right.
and be well and be
I
safe.
forgot to unmute myself. Hi to whoever said hello to Couture. Thank
We
you.
all do. We all say hi to Katura.
That's right. We all do. Okay, if I close it now, it'll close it for everybody. So you
Yes.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
blessed day, everyone.
Hi, Peg.
Bye, Stephen.
There's Keith and Lynn and Mark.
Blessed
Cindy.
day, everyone.
Look at that. Look at Marlene's. Very lovely. All right.
Bye, Marlene.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dear Reverend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you.
Okay.
Another
Bye.
beautiful service. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Reverend Carol, Norman, Jackie. I just want to thank you deeply for such a beautiful, deeply healing service. It touched me very, very deeply. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank
You too. Bye-bye.